To associate with
Please,
it.
yes, please go ahead.
Dear participants, I was asked to interact with you on two different topics. As it was mentioned by Dr. Nanjan Swami, the first session interaction I will be talking to you on team building, followed by that leadership. As a matter of fact, I was given to an understanding that this August body of audience includes teachers from different faculty.
Yes, sir.
Not necessarily commerce or management.
No, sir. Only one person from management, remaining from different subjects. 24 subjects, sir. Sorry, 23 subjects, sir.
Okay.
23 different subjects and from Karnataka, different parts of Karnataka and Kerala, Maharashtra, and West Bengal.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Yes, yes. Please, sir. Please.
Therefore, here, as I am aware that I am addressing faculty teachers from different faculties, I would just like to introduce you a very prominent topic with which most of you are familiar. And it's not a new topic for many of you, but still, this is the most dynamic topic these days. As you know, not necessarily graduates, even anybody for that matter in the present situation has to acquire certain soft skills that are essential to be an effective personality, an independent person in this very dynamic and complex society. The most prominent thing is to learn to be with people and make the people to think about us and to get the things done through the support and the cooperation of everybody. As you know, in democracy, nobody can claim to be in isolation, and no one can achieve everything of his choice alone. We need the support of everybody. And more so in case of teachers who have the responsibility of molding not only their students but the society. The job of a teacher in any society is very prominent, and that could be the reason teachers are regarded, respected so much across the globe as the pillars of the society. And the quality of the teachers determines the quality of the community, I mean the society. Keeping that in mind, I thought it would be relevant to everybody to speak about team building and leadership qualities, as it is required not only to teach to the students, even for the teachers as individuals. We need to be in the group of people in our capacity like an employee, an employer, a leader, a subordinate, or a member of the family, wherein we need to work together. And at the same time, we need to educate the students along with their core discipline about the leadership and team building, which are the most essential skills identified by the World Economic Forum for the present day economic and industrial scenario. The World Economic Forum says the soft skills that we are talking today may become redundant after another 10 years. But the prominent skills that are essential are about self-management, teamwork, and use of technology. In that direction, we need to educate our students about how to be a successful person in the society and to discharge our duties in the different capacities assigned to us. Keeping that in mind, I will be making an attempt to present before you issues related to teams and team building, things like that. And whenever you feel like posing a question or adding something to what I am telling, feel free, take the liberty to contribute from your side also, or to ask questions whenever you feel. Otherwise, we can have some 10-minute slot at the end for interaction only. Those who cannot pose the questions in between can do so at the end. Let me take you towards the concept team and team building at first. I'm sure everybody is familiar with the expression team and team building, if not from academic point of view or from the point of view of sports and other things. The moment you hear the word team, what comes to your mind is the cricket team, because the cricket fever is still going on everywhere, and people think of a cricket team captain, something like that. As a captain's job is that of a leader, invariably we can imagine what the team do and what the captain do, something like that. But before that, we need to understand, what does team means? Is it only confined to sports or the situations where people are made to work together with a designated membership and leadership, or else will it prevail everywhere? To answer this question, I can tell you very precisely, teams, I'm trying to give an academic definition for the word team, thereby we can understand what it is altogether. Teams are the groups of two or more people who interact and influence each other. When I say teams are groups of two or more people, you can just think for a while. The moment two persons join together to carry out any work, that will invariably become a team. But there is a difference between a team and a group. All groups may not be teams, for the simple reason that there may be groups of hundreds of people who may be joining there as a group for their own independent reasons. There may not be any connectivity, there may not be any internal dependency, there may not be any concern for the other member. Say, for instance, in front of a railway station, or in front of a cinema theater, or in the market, there may be large number of people together standing, sitting in a place, but all of them, though they are there for their own purposes, it cannot be considered as a team. A group will become a team only when there is scope for interaction and influence. There must be scope for the team members, the people there, to interact with each other. And as a result of interaction, somebody must influence on somebody. What is influence? Influence is an act of making an impact on the other person's mind through your communication, through your action. Through your action or communication, when you make either a positive or a negative impact on somebody, that can be called influence. And particularly in any team where there are more than two persons together working, there must be mutual accountability. There must be mutual accountability. That means both the parties are responsible to each other. Whatever the consequences, whatever the result happens, for that, both the parties are equally responsible for achieving the common purpose for which they are working together. And they perceive themselves, more than anything, mentally, they must accept the fact that we belong to one identity. We have a single entity, something like that. Therefore, it is for the purpose of achieving common objectives and perceives themselves as a social entity within an organization. For some people, there may be there is scope for confusion. I have used expressions like teams, groups, and organizations together. In this one definition, you can find three expressions like teams, groups, and organization. Inside an organization, there can be any number of groups and teams. The only difference between a group and a team is groups may be informal, groups may not be having specific purpose, specific objectives, though there are large number of people. But in a team, there will be specificity about the purpose, about the membership, about the leadership and all. Keeping this in mind, you can imagine your own institution. When I say your own institution, it's very simple. Oliver Ted, a noted thinker in public administration and management, came out with the saying, 1 plus 1 makes an organization. 1 plus 1 makes an organization means, it is to say, a family. A family is the first type of organization. Starting from a family, you can think of a church, a temple, a mosque, up to the UNO as an organization. It can be a family, it can be a sports association, it can be a teachers association. It's an institution like a university, a college, an office. Wherever there are two persons working for the common purpose, that can be considered as a team. As Oliver Ted said, 1 plus 1, 1 plus 1, that means two persons of the same thinking, identity, ideology, joined together for carrying out a common task, that can be called a team. Therefore, you can think your college or university works on the team-based principle. You can reduce that to the extent of your classroom. A class can also be considered as a team where by designation, invariably, you are going to be the team leader. Amongst the students, there can be any number of groups. Those groups may become very loyal to each other. Each member of the group may become very friendly, loyal, committed, and they may develop a bondage amongst themselves based on their purposes, their intentions, and emotions. Therefore, wherever there are people, invariably teams will come into picture. For the purpose of academic discussion, now I expect you to consider a group and a team as synonyms. There is no much difference other than technicalities between the group and the team, because the purpose of grouping is ultimately to make people to contribute towards achieving a common purpose, because any one of us is not capable of achieving everything alone, independently. We need the support of somebody. We need the help of somebody. That's the reason it is said, man is a social animal. Man is a social being. Without the company, at least of someone, we cannot live happily. In a civilized society, teams are essential. In a civilized society, working with the people has become the most significant thing. But today, in the name of advancement in technology, in the name of advancement in our thinking, man started becoming an island. And people have all sorts of technology, all sorts of skills. But when it comes to being with the group, working with the other persons, they are not that comfortable. You may be knowing the most intelligent person may say that, give me any job, I will do it on my own, but I cannot go with somebody. I cannot work with somebody. Along with the domain knowledge, there is a need to inculcate socializing skills among our students and making our students to be a good team member. Only when they prove to be good team members, then only they can become good leaders. In the process of education is aiming at empowering the students, motivating the students to take up leadership positions both in industry, life, economics, society, etc. That can happen only when first they learn to be a team member. Only those who work as effective and efficient team members can become good team leaders. Unless one becomes a successful subordinate, he cannot become a successful superior also. Keeping that in mind, I will be taking you towards team building process. As I told you, first thing is to make you understand simply what is a team and what are the characteristics of a team. A team is a group of people, is a collection of individuals who work with a common purpose. Therefore, I have listed a couple of common features that explains the characteristics of teams. In a team, there must be common means and end. End means objective. The team is working for a common objective. Here, if you consider a classroom as a common team, the objective of the class is to learn something, is to teach something. As a teacher, your objective is to teach, and as students, their objective is to learn, and put together, it is called an academic objective of learning. Learning is both for students and teachers. Even at every class, the real learner is the teacher, I believe. With every interaction with the student, we learn something every day. Therefore, learning is the objective of a classroom environment. The end is learning objective. Likewise, for a team, there will be an objective, and that objective will be achieved through common means. Common means the channel, the route that we have opted for. All of us are taking the same task, working on the same line to achieve the same objective. The most important principle here is the joint efforts. As none of us are able to achieve everything independently, we are dependent on the joint efforts. Everybody should work together. That is called team spirit. Team spirit means everybody contributing towards the common end. In a team, there will be something called shared vision and leadership. What does it mean? Shared vision means. Shared vision means everybody knows why they are doing this. Everybody knows for what they are there. Vision is, you will be knowing, vision means the explicit dream for which people are working. Vision is the ultimate destination that we would like to reach through all our efforts. Vision is, how do you want to see yourself after some time? The team must have a vision. There is a popular saying, the distance you see depends on the light you throw. The light you throw determines the distance that you could see. After 10 years, what you want to become? After 5 years, what you want to become? After this 1 hour lecture, what do you want to learn or unlearn? That vision must be there. In a team, there will be shared vision. Everybody is having the same vision, and there will be a shared leadership. Leadership of one type or the other, whether it is elected, selected, dictated, whatever it may be, in every team, there will be one or the other type of leadership. Let us discuss all this later on. And in a team, there will be a belief. There will be an element of belief on synergy. You can understand what is synergy. I think you will be knowing synergy means the spirit that results in greater productivity. Say, for instance, when we are together, we will work more. When we are together, we realize more. There is strength in unity. If one person can produce 10 units per day, if two persons are made to work together, they may produce more than 10. One is 5. Sorry, if one person can produce 5 per day, when two of them are made to work, the outcome may be more than 10. It is to say that 2 plus 2 under synergy effect need not be 4 alone. It may be 6, it may be 8, it may be 5. Because when there is collective efforts, joint efforts, productivity will improve. Only when such a belief is there, people will make teams and work together. The purpose of making team is also knowing that if more than one person is working together, there will be better thinking, creativity, innovative way of doing, and there is strength in unity. That's the reason people make teams. And more than anything, in a team, there must be mutual accountability. Everybody is responsible for everybody. In a cricket team, if there are 11 members, all the 11 are responsible for the victory of the team as well as victory of each individual member. Just like that in the classroom, we are mutually accountable. Students are answerable to the teacher and teacher is answerable to the students. Both of them have the responsibility. It is not the student alone or the teacher alone. These days, by looking at the result sheet, people comment that, oh, this reflects the teaching. No, not necessarily. However excellent a teacher is, if the students are not responsive, what the teacher can do. Same is the case. However intelligent and dedicated the students are, if the teachers are not having that commitment, that involvement, nothing big will happen. Therefore, both the students and the teachers are responsible for the outcome, academic outcome here. In any team, there must be mutual accountability. Both the parties are answerable to each other. These are the characteristics of any team or teamwork. You can see teams everywhere, as I have been mentioning, even in the society, let it be in our day-to-day life. As I started telling, from the family, you can consider family as a team, your college, university as a team, your class as a team, your friends association as a team, your office environment as a teamwork, and the community as a whole can be considered as a team in this context. As I was telling, teams are made up of individuals. Teams are made up of individuals. When more than one person join together, teams will come into existence. Unless we know what makes every individual to become a member of the team that we are thinking, it is difficult to formulate teams. You will be knowing, it is an accepted saying that man is the social animal. In other words, man is the social being. But man is the most complicated being to understand. You can understand anything under the sun, but not the chemical reaction that happens in the human mind at a given point of time. No laboratory, as far as my knowledge is concerned, no laboratory under the sun is competent enough to understand 100% what chemical reaction happens at a given point of time in the human mind and what is the consequence. Man is the most challenging being to understand. But the reality is that we must understand, we must live with man, we must try to be one among them. We must be able to predict what they are thinking. We must be able to make them to work in the way that we like. Take your classroom as a team. If there are 60 students in a class, it is 60 individuals differently. Each individual has his own personality, likes and dislikes. All of them have their own reasons for sitting in front of you there. I think I'm right in my saying. All of them have their own reason. If you ask somebody, why did you join this course? Why did you join this college? They may give 100 reasons. Some people may say that, why are you asking me? Ask the people who made me to sit in front of you. I'm not responsible for that. Therefore, everybody is having their own reasons, but everyone is special. Man is the unique creation of the nature, extraordinary creation of the nature. Making that type of individuals to be a team member, to work as per the directions given by somebody, to look at something as interesting, it is not an easy job. Teachers are facing this difficulty. Many a time in the college where we are all teaching, students of a particular age group are sitting in front of us and they are in the transition of their life. Believe me, students in the colleges, they are neither kids nor grown-ups. If you treat them as kids, they will become angry. If you allow them to be as grown-ups, they will do mischief irresponsibly. If you advise them too much, they don't like it. If you give them freedom, they don't do anything. And some of the students may be exceptions for this, but ultimately students are students. You can understand the present generation of students, they may be technically very superior in terms of technical thinking and ability to handle the gadgets, electronic gadgets. When it comes to emotions, when it comes to being a member of this team, a part of the total system, they may find it a little difficult to adjust with. That could be the reason many a time you may find dropouts in the colleges. Some students will drop out in between. Some students will get disappointed after joining the college. Some students may say that till my PUC, till my earlier schooling days, I was very comfortable in the studies. Now it is not okay with me. Some people may get diverted towards unwanted directions. They may become a part of mischievous groups. They may join teams that are not good for their development. Given the situation, we need to understand that every individual is special. I'm not saying somebody is inferior, somebody is superior. Every individual is special, but that speciality must be made used for achieving the common purpose. Somebody may be good in speaking, somebody may be good in writing, somebody may be good in physical working, somebody may be creative, somebody may be love music, somebody may like sports. Everyone is different, but you must make all of them to think alike, to think in your direction, and look at you as an example. For an example, take you as an example rather, how to make it. Understand the individuals. As I was telling, man is the most complicated being. There are different types of people in the working environment, even in the colleges and schools and all. I'm not going to elaborate all this. There will be different types of people. What are the different types of people we have? I have just listed 10 different types of people. People from psychology and sociology must be knowing more about this. There are people like the bully. Bully is one type of people who are always abusive, harassing, and threatening others. The braggart. A braggart is a type of person who always want of self-publicity, boasting, and prefers spotlights on him all the time. The clown or the comedian who always makes fun of things, don't take anything seriously. And there is a devil's advocate who always questions everything. Devil's advocate. And there is somebody called film star. Film stars are those who always prefers about their looks, sounds, plays, beauty, smartness, etc. Eccentric type of people who always speaks as an expert, a specialist, who looks for reputation. Scoutmaster is one who always thinks of rules and regulations. Lobbyist is one who is the chaser of causes, morality, ethics, etc. Peacemaker is one who solves the problems. Scapegoat is one who will become the victim for the acts of others. Why I have mentioned all this is, even amongst your students, this type of people will be there. Even among your colleagues, this type of people will be there. In the family also, we have this type of people. Everyone is special. Everyone is unique. These unique people must be made to work together. Therefore, we need to understand the individual differences. Every individual is different from one another in terms of their ability to understand complex ideas. My intention is to tell you that among your students, there may be fast learners, slow learners, and no learners. There may be students who are highly dedicated. There may be moderately caring type of students and students who are not bothered about your teaching at all. Am I reaching? Am I reaching you? Will it be okay if I continue?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So here, there will be different types of people. See, communication must always be of as somebody was telling in the beginning, if it was a one-to-one direct interaction, we could have posed so many questions by this time. Now I have been talking to my computer screen. If you have any queries, please make a note of it, or you can pose it at any point of time. As I was telling, every individual is different in terms of their ability to understand complex ideas, ability to adapt effectively to the environment, ability to learn from experience. Experience may be the same. People sitting in the same classroom, somebody may become very intelligent, somebody may become dedicated towards studies, somebody may be impressed by that, and somebody may be distant. Their ability to engage in various forms of reasoning. People may come out with a different question. The same presentation, same demonstration may lead to different types of questions in different minds. Followed by that, they are different in terms of overcoming the obstacles by taking a thought of it. Therefore, every individual is different. These individuals must be made to become team members. There will be different types of people with different reasons to become a team member. At the first instance, we need to understand. I was telling, teams are everywhere. Teams are everywhere, starting from family, in the working place, in the society, we have teams, and teamwork is for everybody because we cannot achieve everything or anything alone. Now the question is, why do we need so much of importance from teams? Why people join teams at all? The first and the most important reason for teams to happen in any system is the question of security. Security. Why do people join each other? Why do people make friendship? Why do people associate? People get assembled together. You might have noticed in the classroom. Those students who have joined as strangers in the first year may make their own groups. They become members of their own type of groups, and they move around, they work, they think, they enjoy, they are identified like that only. Why it is like this? The reason for that is, at the first instance, security. Why do we need teams means? It is for security. There is a natural feeling in everybody's mind that if I am alone, I am weak. If I am alone, I cannot do everything. If I am in the company of somebody, I am safe. That's the reason we search for someone to be our friend, someone to be our colleague, someone to be with us. That is the beginning of any team. Followed by that, the reason for teams, is the interaction, influence, and proximity. All the students in your class will not become friends. All the staff members in your college are not friends. That happens only between people who had an opportunity of interaction. It is the interaction followed by the result of interaction is influence. If there is positive or negative influence, that influences the creation of the team. When there is a positive influence, he will become our friend. If there is a negative influence, he will be our opponent or competitor, better not to call him. The reason for team is proximity. Proximity means closeness. All are not going to be friends, I said. But those who are sitting together, staying in the same hostel, traveling in the same bus, working on the same assignment, they become the team members. They become the friends. Followed by that, why do people join groups? I'm answering the question. Why do people join groups or teams? The third reason that I'm quoting is esteem and identity. If people think that joining a particular group or particular team add to their identity, if they feel proud that I'm a part of that group, I'm a member of that association, they will go and join the team. Say, for instance, joining a researchers association, teachers association, employees association, becoming a fellow of a particular club or an association. If you think you feel proud of it, you want to become a member of that group. And that group will give you an identity. Because of the need of an identity, need of the recognition and the psychological prideness one develops, he or she may become the group member. Followed by that, affiliation. Affiliation. Affiliation means belief, liking, orientation, in other words. You try to become a member of a team or a group whose ideologies, whose philosophies, or whose activities are similar to that of your expectations, similar to that of your likings. That's the reason people say birds of same feather fly together. You will become a member of a team where people have ideas, views, likes and dislikes that matches with you. That's the reason for becoming a member over there. That is what affiliation. You can think of students who become friends. You might have noticed all very serious, studious will become friends. All latecomers, chronic absentees will become friends. People who have been repeating exam after exams, they will become friends. People who speak a particular language fluently, people who don't know a particular language, they become friends. Therefore, here, similarity in liking, similarity in thinking, belief makes people to become friends or group members. Followed by that, what makes people to take up team membership, power. As I said, there is strength in unity. People need different types of power, and power may be in the form of political power, financial power, knowledge power, technical power. It may be any type of power. If you think by joining that team, I will become powerful, you love to become a member of that team. Am I reaching? Can you follow me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, okay. Sir. Therefore,
Yes, sir.
the reason for people to join teams are these. At the end, I have made a mention, huddling. Huddling. Have you heard of the word huddling? Anybody for that matter? Huddling is a vent created by people for sharing something which they cannot share in the formal system. To express the unexpressed feeling, to share the thoughts which they cannot share in a formal open environment, they need a vent. They need a system wherein they can share informally their hidden feelings. It is an informal arrangement that the people make. Say, for instance, inside the classroom, if you ask 100 times, students, can you understand my teaching? Can you understand my teaching? What they will say? Invariably, everybody will say, yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir. If you ask, can you follow me? Am I clear? Are you understanding my lecture? Yes, sir, 100%. If you don't understand, speak to me. You cannot follow me. You cannot understand me. They will say, no, sir, no, we can follow you. This is not the truth. Many a time, truth will come out in an informal environment. When they are gathered informally in a sports meet, when they are gathered in the canteen over a cup of tea, they will speak out the truth about the question you are asking here. Same thing happens in the organizations also. In a formal meeting, people may not be able to speak out the truth. In every organization, there will be a meeting after the meeting. There will be a meeting after the meeting. What they could not discuss in the meeting, that will be discussed there. In that meeting, people will say, in the late evening meeting, today I thought somebody will raise that issue. Nobody raised. I thought you are going to question that. You did not question. Why it is? People who could not share their thoughts in the formal environment will search for an opportunity to share it. And such people will become team members. Such people will become team members. This you can say, most of the organizations, formally, informally created, for good and bad reasons, are created because of this. I think you can follow me. Okay, these are the reasons for which people make teams. When people formulate a team, from individual to team, there is a transition. Every individual is special, every individual is different. But when we join a team, our behavior is going to be influenced by the team. We must care for the team. All the team members need to obey the team norms. Then only it will become team. Team is important than the individual. Then what is going to happen for the behavior? In a teamwork, competitive relationships will become cooperative. Wherever there is a teamwork, all team members are not competitors. We are cooperative to each other. Both of us are batting. Both the batsmen must think that whoever hit the ball, but the run is going to be added to my team's credit. We are going to win the match. So that we are not competitors here, we are collaborators, cooperators. In a team, there is a willingness to confront issues jointly. Whenever there is a problem, whenever there is a crisis or an issue, that can be sorted out jointly. We are all responsible for this, to solve the problem. And team develop the ability to express criticism constructively. Criticisms must be constructive, and in a team, criticisms must be encouraged for the healthy environment there. Only when there is healthy and constructive criticism, there we can expect good results, good outcomes, and healthy relationships. Teams provide for that. In a team, we must listen to the comments, the criticisms, the remarks made by the other person also. That will add to the spirit of team. There is a sense of team spirit. That means if my team is happy, I will be happy. If my team is successful, that is my success. And my contribution is ultimately to make my team achieve its goal. This should be the spirit of the team members. Followed by this, a team, a team is ultimately a collection of individuals who are working together. The togetherness need not be always in the technical terms, need not be through compulsion, coercion, threatening. It must be through the psychological contract. What is a psychological contract? Psychological contract is acceptance of the other person, acceptance of the other person as equal member and respecting his views and opinions. Unless there is a psychological contract, however strong your written agreements are, written contracts are, teamwork will not happen. I said 1 + 1 makes an organization. That means a family is an organization. In that family, it is not the written agreement that matters a lot. It is the consensus of opinion. It is the psychological acceptance of the other person that makes you respect, you love, you like because of the psychological contract. Therefore, in every team, there must be a strong psychological contract between the individuals. Even in your classroom, unless your students accept you as their teacher, tutor, friend, and a guide, whatever words that you are going to say will never become impressive to them. At the first instance, you must be able to win over their loyalty, reach to their heart, make them to respect you, make them to look at you as an example. Then whatever you say, that will become the ultimate truth for them. For that purpose, we must develop a psychological contract with the people in a team, more than the written agreements, documents, things like that. What makes the psychological contract? Why people get into psychological contract? Why people respect anybody? There are 5 reasons. Reason number 1, remunerative reason. Second one is calculative reason. Third one is normative reason. Fourth is coercive, and then alienative. What is remunerative reason? Why people get into contract? Say for instance, the most common and the prominent reason is, I am paid for this. Somebody who is paying is my master and he has the control. He can have the control over me. As long as my payment is assured, let me be with them. Because of the remuneration that we are getting, because of the benefits we are earning, we want to be in a team. That makes our contract. Second reason, calculative reason. Why are we going to stay in a team? Because we make calculation. If I am alone, somebody may trouble me. If I am with the company, with this particular group, I may get certain benefits, recognition, something good will happen to me. Because of the calculation, people get into contract. Why people respect you, you make just a connection with this. Third reason, normative reason. It's a norm. It's a socially accepted norm to be like this. That's why people are like that. Say for instance, don't mistake me. In our system, husband and wife relationship. Why it is like this? It is a norm to be like this. Husband and wife, parents and children, student and the teacher. It's a norm. In a classroom, our students always think it is a norm that teacher should only speak, not the students. It is his job. Why should he speak? It's a normative reason to be a party to psychological contract. Then alienative reason. Alienative reasons means this is our orientation. This is our liking. I like to be here. This is my choice. This is my alignment. I'm tuned like that. Coercive reason means by force. By force, we are making people to be team members. We made them to accept us. By threatening, at the gunpoint, we are making them to be with us. But believe me, if you are making anybody to be in your team at the gunpoint by threatening, they cannot be happy. They cannot deliver anything constructively. And they will naturally spoil the working environment and the staying environment there. Therefore, there is a saying in management. If you want to make the people to follow you, don't put them handcuffs. By putting handcuffs, you cannot make anybody to follow you. If it is possible, try to put them handcuffs. What is that handcuff? Handcuff is winning their loyalty. You can win the loyalty of the people through communication, through convincing, through reaching out. You can make your students to like your subject by convincing, by impressing, by influencing. If you are doing that by threatening, by showing the internal assessment mark sheet, attendance sheet, saying that it is in my hand, people may be there out of fear, not out of love, respect. I think I'm reaching you. Now, it is quite natural, teams are everywhere, teamwork is important, but how are these teams are formed? Let us make an understanding of the process through which teams come into existence in any system for that matter. From individual to a team, what is the process? There are 5 stages through which teams come into existence. Process 1 is called forming, followed by that storming, norming, performing, and adjourning. This is the process through which teams are formulated. What is the first stage? Forming. Forming is the stage where the members of a team are strangers to each other. They are not known to each other. As they are strangers to each other, they have an inclination, they have an interest to know about the other person. This stage is also called a learning stage. It is a learning stage because there is a curiosity to know about the other person because they don't know. In this stage, the team members develops interest to collect information about the objectives of the team, the nature of the team, about the members, their background, their likes and dislikes. There will be curiosity. In this stage, there will be curiosity. People will become learners and they acquire lot of information about the team. Followed by that stage, immediate next stage is the storming stage. You can understand what is a storm. A storm is a wild wind. A storm is a disturbance. There is a disturbance because in the first stage, we were all strangers. We were not known to each other, but we got to know each other. Problem arises only when we know somebody. Before my introduction to you in this session, I was a stranger to you. But now, some of you might have developed a negative thought, how much is boring, something like that. Prior to that, there was no opinion about me because we were not known to each other. Problem arises only when you know about the other person. When you know about something, there will be likes and dislikes. A storm is a situation where there is a disturbance, where there is a difference of opinion, which is called conflict. In every team, conflict will arise. If there is no conflict, it's an indication that people are not active there. People are not happy living there. If there is 2 living individuals, when I use the word living, alive. When 2 persons together and living together for a long time, they must have a conflict. If they say, no, we never had a conflict, that's an indication that either of them is not alive. Both the living beings, thinking beings, will definitely have something likes and dislikes. If you say, I don't have enemies, that means you have done nothing. If you have really done something, there must be some enemies for you. Somebody to criticize you, somebody to make comments about you, somebody to dislike you. I think I'm reaching you. Therefore, storming is a situation where there is a disturbance. This disturbance must be addressed properly to you. Otherwise, there will not be survival. Team cannot work. The third stage is norming. As the word itself says, norming is an act of fixing the boundary, making the rules and regulation, telling people, that means the members, what is expected and what is not expected, what is right and wrong. By fixing the boundary and telling the rules and regulations, we set the people on task. We tell them what type of behaviors are acceptable and what is not acceptable. After the norms are fixed, the fourth stage is performing. Performing is the stage where we are working together, where the really expected task happens. The productivity takes place in this stage. If the productivity is as expected, favorable to us, we will continue that behavior. We will continue in that team. If there is a loss of productivity, If we are not happy with the results, then we will stop it. Whether you stop or continue, the fifth stage in the process is adjourning. Adjourning is an act of postponing. All teams are postponed. All teams are postponed for a future date, either with the same team or you may join another team. Adjourning is an act of postponing the action, either by joining or discontinuing or continuing the activity. These 5 stages can be used as the process for all types of team formation. I said in the beginning, the best example for team is the family. Just relate these 5 stages to a family or friendship. Family or friendship, The first stage, forming, is the stage. In case of family, you can use the word marriage. Every family starts with a marriage. What is a marriage? Marriage is a psychological contract or an agreement between two individuals. Marriage is not the celebration about which people speak. Marriage is the psychological contract or agreement between two individuals. Prior to that, these two individuals are not known to each other. They were strangers. Through this formation, they got to know each other. After getting known to each other, disturbance will arise, dispute will arise, problem will arise. When I say problem will arise in a family, somebody may not like it, but I am sure that you cannot think of a family without at least one microscopic disturbance in the form of understanding, misunderstanding, what we can call conflicting situation. That conflicting situation bound to take place because in relations, when somebody likes somebody, liking itself is the root cause of disliking also. Hatredness is the outcome of love and vice versa. Therefore, forming leads to questioning or understanding further deeper. That may lead to a storm, what we call the conflict. This conflict needs to be addressed. There comes the role of a leader. Somebody has to take the leader's role to solve this problem of misunderstanding or miscommunication, because of which there is a wrong understanding. That leads to creation of a norm that you don't do that, I don't do this. You don't ask that, I don't tell this. Something like that, a norm. Then performing means living together. And adjourning, life is full of adjournment. If not today, tomorrow will become better day. If not this class, next class is going to be interesting. So that we live with a hope of better future. These are the 5 stages in the process of team formation. Each stage can be discussed for hours together. I'm not going to do that, but think of the consequences of each stage. What happens in knowing about other person, in the conflicting situation, things like that. But everywhere you can find the teams. There are good teams and bad teams. What are the characteristics of effective and ineffective teams? I'll just run through. You can make a note. Effective teams are those where there is an informal and relaxed atmosphere. Let it be a classroom or office or anywhere, there will be relaxed and informal atmosphere, where every problem will be sorted out through discussion and participation in a democratic way. In an effective team, there will be clarity about the task, aims, and the means. In an effective group, there will be commitment to each other. Each party is committed for the welfare of the other. There will be mutual respect. And whenever there is a problem or conflict, it will be discussed and solved. All decisions are taken by consensus. And there will be shared leadership. As opposite to this, in an ineffective team, there The atmosphere will be bored and tense, tension and boring. Needless to explain what they are. The situation is dominated by only few people. All decisions will be taken not through discussion, but by domination of somebody in an ineffective team. There will not be clarity about the task, aims, and means. Irrelevant things will happen. Irrelevant discussion, irrelevant happenings. Nobody is obligated to anybody. Nobody takes the responsibility of anybody. For small issues, instead of respecting the views of others, there will be conflict. Whatever the one person says, other person opposes this, that leads to conflict. And when conflict arises, instead of discussing and solving it in an ineffective group, it will be allowed to develop. Conflicts will be allowed to develop. Small issues will be blown beyond its size. Here, consensus is not at all expected. People say, I am the boss. Why should I ask you? Why should I request you? I am the boss. Consensus is not expected. It is not the leadership that prevails there. It is authority. There is a difference between leadership and authority. Authority comes out of designation, whereas leadership comes out of your behavior, your personality. These are the qualities of effective and ineffective groups. But in any group that is working very well, there are certain unique characters. What makes a high-performing group, high-performing team rather? In that group, there will be high commitment to each other. Trust prevails among everybody. There will be clarity of purpose. There will be open communication, involvement of people. Everybody is involved. And it is process-oriented and not person-oriented. What is important in an effective group is the process, not the person. Therefore, teams and teamwork are very important. But some teams will survive for a long time, and sometimes some teams will vanish immediately. All marriages will not be successful marriages. All groups may not be successful groups. Some of them may vanish immediately. What makes that? What makes people to stay long in a particular group or team, is called cohesiveness, team cohesiveness. Team cohesiveness is the spirit that holds people together. That cohesiveness must not be too high or too low. If the cohesiveness becomes too high, people will become emotionally bonded to each other. That emotional bondage makes them to be too sensitive to emotional issues, and productivity will suffer. They will like each other, but they don't do anything good to each other. But if the cohesiveness is very low, in such situation, there will be suspicion, disliking, hatredness, and people will not live together. Therefore, what makes team cohesiveness? A high cohesiveness or a low cohesiveness depends on the similarity of the members. Similarity means thinking, liking, their nature, everything. Interaction with the member, team size, difficulty of entry and exit to the team. You can understand, I believe. If it is easy to admit, easy to leave, students will leave every day and become every day. There must be some restrictions. If there is no restriction, even to your class, if you say you can walk in any time, students will come till the last minute. It should not be too much restricted, and at the same time, it should not be 100% free. Team success. Everybody wants to be a member of a successful team. If you are winning all the time, people would like to be with you. External competition, outside environment. If it is easy to survive outside, people will leave you. If outside environment is challenging, difficult, they will be with you. If you ask an employee, are you happy on the job? People say no. Will you resign to your job? They will say no. If you are not happy, why can't you resign? Their next question is, where can I go? Same thing is with the students, Same thing is with anybody. If the external environment is very comfortable, people may not be with you. I'm not to say that external environment must always be all, but the nature of the external environment influences people's bondage. When there is difficulty outside, we will become close friends. We will become kith and kin, very tight in our emotional bondage. When external environment is free, we don't care for each other. Therefore, high cohesiveness or low cohesiveness influences the productivity. Very high cohesiveness makes to love each other, respect each other, emotionally bonded, but productivity will suffer. It is something like becoming homesick, something like becoming emotionally bonded, not productive, constructive. Too low cohesiveness, no, it is also bad. That leads to hatredness, disliking. Therefore, it is the responsibility of the leader concerned to fix up appropriate norms, roles, and cohesiveness in the team. And effective teams can be built through proper definition of the roles and responsibilities of every individual, through proper interpersonal process of talking, understanding each other, setting appropriate goals for everybody, what goals are to be achieved, and followed by that, if there are any problem, the problems must be sorted out. Then only teams will become effective. This is all about the team and the team building. I think this is the time to stop or to have some questions. If you have any queries, please feel free to raise questions. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. You're audible.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Please, if you have any
Yes,
questions
sir.
to ask, please.
Yes, sir.
Sir, in any form of team,
Please.
hello, I'm audible.
You are audible.
Sir, in any form of team, it is very inevitable that the mindset of each member should be equal. Otherwise, the team environment will collapse.
Yes.
The great example for this is recently we had ICC 2020 World Cup, wherein due to the, what we say, some of the inner conflicts, India lost this World Cup. So we need to have proper mindset in each and every members in the team. Otherwise,
That's the reason I said psychological contract.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. Team will defeat, not individual.
Yes. Commitment must be there. You must think team success is my success. How
Yes.
it can happen? The role of the leader and the other members are also important there. You must create an environment where people think I am also equally responsible for everything that happens here.
Yes, sir.
Only such a feeling will make people to contribute their maximum. Right?
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Any more comments? Even criticisms are accepted. If you want to criticize, if you say you don't like something, you can share it with me.
Sir. Sir,
Yes, please, Manas Das.
why do we need teams? Here, handling means obstacles.
It is not obstacle. Huddling is a vent, is a system created by people for expressing what they cannot express openly. Say, for instance, your students inside the class cannot make comments, negative comments. But when they go to the canteen or the toilet, in front of the toilet, they will make comment, unnecessary, it is nailing, how much we can listen. Even in a meeting, it happens like that. Before the boss, people cannot criticize. They search for an informal arrangement. Over a cup of tea, they will share. In a meeting, I was about to hit him on the face, people say, but I could not do that. And they say, I was thinking somebody will raise that question. Nobody raised. Why can't you do that? All disgusted people, disappointed people will make a team. That is what huddling.
Okay, sir.
It is an informal arrangement created to express the unexpressed feelings.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Anything more? If you don't have questions at this session, please reserve your question. At least in the next session, you can post same questions related to that because topics are interdependent. We shall meet after the break at 3:45.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
So much, sir.
Sir,
Ramsonura.
sir, tea break ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀರೇನು sir?
ಈಗ ಟೀ ಬ್ರೇಕ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟೆ.
Okay sir, ಆಗ್ಬೋದು sir, ಆಗ್ಬೋದು. 3:45 ಗೆ.
Okay, 3:45.
Yes sir, thanks sir, thanks.
ಅದು